Isaiah Hartenstein has finally spoken out on leaving the New York Knicks, and we have to talk about it. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video as we always do. Because after signing with the Oklahoma City Thunder and breaking all of our hearts, though making the right financial decision for his family, Isaiah Hartenstein has finally spoken out on his decision to leave New York. And let's just jump right into it and see what the man had to say. Hartenstein said that it was hard. I loved my teammates out in New York. I really appreciate what Tibbs and Leon did for me. The fans in New York showed a lot of love. Now, here's the thing. We all loved Isaiah Hartenstein. He was such a great fit with the team. Him and Brunson had an excellent rapport on the court. They ran that pick and roll so beautifully. The way he made that high post game work so Julius Randle could get one-on-ones at the rim was so awesome for the New York Knicks. It's something that you can't really replace in this free agency. There's not a guy who will fit into that. Now, also, Hartenstein did say he's going to start shooting threes again because he wasn't really allowed to. So it sounds like maybe Tibbs didn't exactly want Hartenstein fully on the perimeter, but Hartenstein did spend a lot of time at that high post, which in the month of January led to Julius Randle getting one-on-ones at the rim, and there's a reason why Brunson and Randle were each putting up 30 points per game during January. And I do think it'll be a little hard to replicate with Mitch. Now, Mitch does create spacing in his own way because he's so athletic that he could just chase offensive rebounds. And it does still create spacing more than most guys who don't really shoot the ball. However, it's not going to be the same thing. Now, I've said for a while I think Mitchell Robinson is the better center. I've said this throughout the entire season. I just think he is. I'm really high on Mitch. I think I like him more than most people do when it comes to how great I think he can be. I think there's another level for him. I don't think all hope is lost, because we still do have this guy who is saying that a shower is needed badly. And he's working. He's Summer Mitch. He's working. Yes, I follow Mitch on Snapchat. But look, I just really wanted to do that. When it comes to Isaiah Hartenstein, he made the right decision, and I don't think it surprised many of us to see him leave. Though there were reports that if this contract was offered to Hartenstein by a bad team, say the Detroit Pistons or Utah Jazz, Hartenstein would have opted to stay in New York for the lesser money because he had his life there, his friends there, his family, things were working. But he got the extra money to go to a contender and get, I guess, closer to home in Eugene, Oregon. So there were reasons why Hartenstein left, and there's no animosity towards him. I don't think any Knicks fan should be mad at Hartenstein for leaving the team for a better paycheck to stay on a good team. It's not like he's sold out to join a bad team. There's no reason to bash the guy for the move. And you know what? That is what it is. What are you going to do about it? However, Brunson and Josh Hart, they talked about it, and Jalen Brunson said, he texted me, he's like, yo, bro, appreciate everything, Killa. And I was like, who's this? And then Josh Hart said, he's dead to us. Now, this happened on the Roommates podcast with Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart that came out on Thursday, July 4th. And, yeah, I mean, they joked about it, but clearly they're cool with Hartenstein. It is what it is that Hartenstein left. He was great for the Knicks. It's not surprising to see him go. However, who is going to be the Knicks' backup center next season? Right now, Jericho Sims is, I guess, slotted there, as Precious Achiuwa is currently an unrestricted free agent since the Knicks did not pick up his qualifying offer. And there have been a lot of teams with interest in Precious, not only just regular teams, contending teams that have had interest in Precious Achiuwa. So the Knicks could still get him back, though they'd probably have to give him a pay raise. They're still dancing around that first apron. They're kind of close to it. I explained both the first and the second apron in a recent video if you guys want to go back. I'll probably do it again once they make some signings, though, so if you want to wait it out, go do that instead. But here's the thing about our guy, Jericho Sims. The man is working on that jump shot. Now, he's training with former Knick Mike Bibby, who spent one of his final years in the NBA on the New York Knicks. And that's all great, but the question is he really going to be our backup center next year? Because you couldn't afford this. The Knicks could not afford this. They could not afford to match Hartenstein's deal, which would have kept Hartenstein probably as the starting center and Mitch as the backup. But regardless, they could not afford this. So they have to look at this lot of names. Now, are any of these guys considerably or even at all better than Jericho Sims? Like, Daniel Tice is undersized. Cody Zeller's best days are behind him. JaVale McGee's best days are behind him. Tristan Thompson's best days are behind him. All of these guys are older centers or undersized or should not be a backup center on a contending team in general. It makes me think that there is a world where the Knicks go into next year with Jericho Sims as their primary backup center. However, there's always a chance that doesn't happen. The Knicks have been really looking through the markets, and with the money they freed up by trading Shake Milton in that sign-and trade and Mamadi Diakite to the Brooklyn Nets as part of the Mikal Bridges deal that also brought in Keita Bates-Diop for the Knicks, there's money. They have more money. They have more flexibility. That's a very good thing for this team because there's two names they're looking at who are on cheap contracts, and we're going to waste no time talking about them. I think you guys might know who these two are. I talk about them a lot. But Michael Scotto did mention the Knicks have made inquiries on the trade market, showing interest in Jazz center Walker Kessler, and along with Hornets center Nick Richards, two guys who the Knicks have shown premier interest in, two guys who I would love on the team. I think Walker Kessler would probably be the Knicks' backup center, and the man's got a bit of a jump shot also to work with, which we like. Right now, to me, there seems like there are three premier names to be the Knicks' backup center that is not Jericho Sims. Because I still don't think it's going to be Jericho. Like, if you made me choose, like, do you think Jericho Sims will go into the season as the plan at backup center? I would have to say no. It's just my gut reaction. And with the money this team has, I really just think that they're going to want to get this guy, someone who's more proven at the center spot. This looks nothing like Jalen Brunson outside of his hair. Like, his eyes are too close together. That does not matter right now. But look, here's the deal. My ADHD is kicking in because we're ADHD crazy, as Kendrick Lamar said. Shout out to DeRozan for being in that video. That was hilarious. But Walker Kessler puts up 8 points per game with 7.5 rebounds, gets 1 assist, blocks 2.5 shots per game, gets half a steal. I mean, stocks near 3 is awesome. The fact that he has a very good box plus minus end value over replacement player on a bad team, showing that despite the fact that he was on a bad Utah Jazz team, his advanced numbers were still good, and being on a bad team makes it harder, is something to like. Now, he shot 21% from 3. I'll tell you right now, he's not shooting threes on the Knicks. Tibbs is not letting that happen if you're only shooting 21%. But he will be able to shoot the mid-range. It gives the Knicks that spacing that Hartenstein gave him, that gives Randall one-on-one matchups at the rim, that is going to make the defense collapse on him. That's going to make the defense collapse on Brunson. So you got guys, I mean, who are great shooters from the corners like Mikal and OG and Dante. I mean, when you run that lineup of the Nova Knicks and let's say they get Walker Kessler, you're looking at a guy in Kessler who wants to get his points through assists. 3/4 of his baskets come through assisted shots, as you can see right there. Brunson will cause a collapse. You'll have OG, Mikal, and DiVincenzo waiting on the perimeter, all of whom are knockdown, open, catch-and-shoot shooters. And then Walker Kessler sitting in that mid-range, who's also going to give you some more spacing and a good chance at an offensive rebounder because he's a very solid rebounding player. I think this is the move to make. If you have to give up a first-round pick to do it, you do that. If you have to give up Deuce McBride to do it, you consider doing that because the need for backup center is bigger for the need at point guard when the Knicks have Tyler Kolek on the roster. Now, I don't want to give up Deuce before anyone starts to believe that that's what I'm saying, but look at these names, man. Get someone. You guys are a contender. This will not do. I don't trust the backup line Mitchell Robinson, an injury-prone player, to be Jericho Sims and Ariel Hukporti. I do not trust that. I'm sorry, I don't. I understand the fandom of Jericho Sims. I just do not trust that. I don't want Jericho Sims as our starting center on a contending team. I don't want Ariel Hukporti, the last pick in the draft, as someone who's going to have to play minutes. Who knows if he's ready? He's the 58th overall pick. There's a good chance he's not ready for NBA minutes, especially on a contender when these games will matter if Mitchell Robinson goes down and he has to play. I just do not think that is a very good idea by the New York Knicks. I don't trust that. However, you also have Nick Richards. Puts up 10 points per game, grabs 8 rebounds, gets a block per game, half a steal, 1.5 stocks. Obviously nothing like Walker Kessler. Not the greatest advanced stats, but it's all right. Again, bad team, and he's not as good as Walker Kessler. That's why his advanced stats went down with the Hornets being bad. However, he shoots 69% from the field. He's a good scoring center on the low block. I like him. He is a New Yorker. He's from Kingston, Jamaica initially, but he moved to New York when he was younger. He went to high school in New York. The man's a New Yorker. He went to Kentucky. You know Kentucky players pan out. This is a guy who was coached by Calipari like a lot of the other past Knicks players, This is someone who I would also love, and he's a lot cheaper than Walker Kessler. It's another good option. I think he could be the backup center on a contending team. I think he could easily fill in as a starter on a contending team if Mitch is dealing with some injuries. I think all of these things are important to note. Now, here's the last option, Mr. Precious Achiuwa, a man who's already a Knick. He's undersized. However, he played great when he started with the Knicks. As the starting power forward, he put up 10 points and 11 rebounds per game. He hits a mid-range very well. He can shoot threes and will hit them. Or he will shoot threes and can hit them, I should say. And he gets, again, 1.5 stocks, which is just steals plus blocks, in case anyone's wondering what that is. But great rebounder, plays above his size, gave Joel Embiid some real hell, and he's going to get better. He's still got a lot of untapped potential that Tibbs is great of getting out of big men. Also, shout out Othello Harrington. We love to shout out Tibbs about helping out big men, but also Othello does it too. I knew this video was going to run long, so guys, I want to hear what you guys think. Nick Richards, Walker Kessler, Precious, Jericho Sims. Which one of those four do you guys like, considering the prices on each of them, whether it's free agency price or a trade price? Or is there someone in free agency that's still there that you would like to go for? Let me know in the comments down below, guys. Subscribe, like, post notifications, all that stuff. Have a great day. Happy Saturday, y'all. Go Knicks.